Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome to a first look at City of the Shroud. City of the Shroud is a game currently looking for Kickstarter backing, being produced by first-time indie game studio Abyssal Arts, and I found myself over the last year paying a lot more attention to Kickstarter games, likely due to the success of games like Darkest Dungeon and Overfall. I found that there's a lot of stuff there that I might otherwise be overlooking and have been keeping an eye on. Now, with City of the Shroud, again, they've offered a prototype during the Kickstarter backer phase of their promotion that allows you to get kind of an idea of what's going on with the game. And I think that's really great because nothing convinces me more that this is actually a game that I would want to play than being given an opportunity to play it. Now, City of the Shroud is a game with a lot of interesting things going on here, and some of which I'm going to talk about just at the beginning in the title screen, and then I'll show you some of that a little bit later on. Now, the main thing that's difficult to show right now is they've got some very ambitious story ideas. They're promoting the game as having a community-driven story with sort of episodic game content where, depending on the choices being made by the player base, that's going to influence like the overall interactions of the world, how different factions are playing out. And there's sort of a campaign that you'd be able to replay, but to actually make changes during the campaign, that needs to be done, while the game is live and the episodic content is coming out. I think that's a really cool concept. It kind of has to wait to see how that plays out to really judge it based upon that. But so far, I'm pretty sold on the turn-based sort of strategy element of the game. As you're probably already familiar with, I'm a big fan of that genre. And so they're doing a lot of things there that are kind of unique. They boast that the gameplay has a fusion of some fighting game elements in it. And I don't know that I would go that far, but there's some really unique combo systems happening within the game. Now, within this prototype, you'll see we've got some options available to us, some not. The party screen would let us alter our 4-character party to then use to battle the AI or to play online. There is a story currently available during the Kickstarter campaign. If you back the game, you'll immediately be given a key to this story. I've yet to play through it, but I'm thinking I may do that for the channel, and that they're going to implement some of those same community-driven story elements so that maybe there will be a better idea of exactly how they plan on implementing that by the time the Kickstarter campaign is over with. There's also a tutorial, which I'm going to be showing you during this video, as well as the ability to just do a versus match versus the AI. I'm also going to show that off. Now, I think the best place to start to just get an idea of some of the gameplay elements and the design choices of the game is to jump into the tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. And as you can see just right away, the game has a fairly striking art style that I'm super okay with. There's sort of what strikes me as like a cel-shady kind of representation of the characters. I like the background. I like the little character portraits that come up while talking, all that kind of stuff. We're going to go ahead and run through this as this hat merchant that we're meeting is going to do a pretty good job of tutorializing the combat system while we've only got like a single character at a time to control, and it's a little less frenetic to try to explain while doing it. So let's see if I can put on my best funny voice for what a hat merchant might sound like, and we'll get started. You, adventurer, help! How may I aid you, sir? Oh, how polite! Manners are a fading art in the city, In fact, just the other day I was telling my cousin that, sir, aren't you being attacked? Ah, yes, thank you for reminding me. You see, this man is so slow that I forgot about the danger. Please do hurry down here, though. I'm afraid this brute will scare away customers. All right, and that's my best hat merchant. Don't make fun. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the HUD before we actually get started, as I don't think the tutorial really mentions or explains it, although it's pretty intuitive. Now, this is where our party would appear. Right now, we only have the one character. During the versus AI stuff, you've got 4. I'm not sure if that's always going to be the case or how that'll play out. Maybe it'll be kind of standard RPG fare. You'll pick up party members as you're going along. But on the display here, the characters got a bar on the left and a bar on the right. Now, the left-hand bar represents their health gauge, while the right-hand bar is an AP meter representing their action points. You'll see the same out of the group of thieves over here. One of the other characters is also a brute, the same class that you're kind of starting with in the tutorial. And there's another down here that's a ranged class, and you'll see he has much less health, although that same AP bar. Now, if I want to move, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Just right-click. Once we've selected the character, you can just right-click in order to move. Whenever you do that, you'll see that each move costs 2 action points or 1 AP if there's no enemy in range. So the idea there being 2 AP while in combat so that you can't really kite enemies and just constantly move away from them. But the 1 AP when no enemy is in range helps you kind of close with the enemy when there would otherwise be nothing going on. And you'll see that as I move, the AP meter dips down. Actually, maybe in the tutorial it automatically refills. Normally it would refill slowly over time. And, oh, splendid! You've arrived! Use your combo wheel to defeat this vile thug. You do know how to use a combo wheel, right? Of course I do. It's like a D-pad, right? People have used those to fight for years. It is kind of like a D-pad, yes, but combo wheels are the latest in combat technology. Left-click an enemy and hold, then drag your mouse over the basic attacks you want to use. When you're finished selecting attacks, release to pummel your opponent. Left-click, drag over my attacks, then release. Yeah, I knew that. Okay. This is the aspect. Okay, it is still slowly regenerating. So there's sort of an AP-based real-time combat that is very interesting and can get super crazy when you're trying to balance the flow of action points over 4 characters at a time. But to start with, it's pretty straightforward, really. Easy to understand, difficult to master, that sort of thing. If we left-click on the enemy, we're going to get these 4 basic attacks. Up, right, down, left. All we need to do to attack him is drag over things. And then we'll do those things. Pretty straightforward, right? And as you can see, our AP meter is already regenerating. Well, you hurt him, but he's still very conscious. Have you ever hit someone and thought, well, that just wasn't nearly violent enough? I mean, all the time, really. You have no idea how often I think that. Wonderful. Here, take this link gem. It's called Suplex. You can use it to throw your opponents. Ah, yes, a link gem. Okay. It is a prototype build, after all. I can use a specific series of basic attacks to activate a powerful, unique effect. Trademark. Did you really trademark that? No. I thought not, but no matter. You are correct, wise traveler, on the matter of link gems. If you save up your AP to unleash the right basic attacks in a row, you can get very violent, so you can, protect me. Okay, and so, with our first link gem of Suplex, we're going to find that if we go down, we're now prompted to go left, and then up, and then release. He'll do the series of basic attacks, but then end it with Suplex. And as you can see, it threw him. It reversed our positions with one another. Well, that was smashing. But do you know what? He's still conscious. Tragically, he is. Also, he's not terrified of you. He just keeps standing there unimpressed as though you didn't just toss him around. Perhaps one link gem just isn't violent enough for this brute. Here, take Wild Swing. It packs quite the punch. If I sequence my attacks correctly, I can use both Suplex and Wild Swing in one combo, right? Yes, and surely such a show of force will put an end to his menacing ways. Okay, so now I have gained... Oh, right, we've reversed. I've gained an additional attack, this time Wild Swing. Use Suplex and Wild Swing in the same combo, return to the center to reset if you mess up. You need 5 AP to do the attack in total, so we'll let that bar get up a little bit. And now... if I go Wild Swing, I'll be prompted to go up, go back down, go back up, and then Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, let me try starting with suplex. There we go. All right, so that's going to give me an attack that then suplexes and then goes through and wild swings. Nice. Yep. Now he's afraid of us. Maximum violence. That was amazing. Whoa. I know, it's exhilarating even watching you. I meant more that you could calm down a bit. He's run off. Your wares are safe now. Oh, he's run off? Wonderful. Wait, he's run off with my merchandise? Not wonderful. Don't worry, I'll chase him up onto the roof and defeat him. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show. Alright, so that should give a basic idea of what's going on within the combat system. What they meant by sort of the fighting game style combo system that's within the game. Obviously, we can race up here to fight this guy a little bit more. We can do exactly the same thing, as it is clearly our most damaging sort of combo of attacks, is to suplex and then immediately wild swing. And it's fairly damaging. In fact, I think wild swing might just be like the most damaging thing we have to just use by itself. If we're a little light. Yeah, there we go. And he's almost dead. I wonder if it would be worthwhile to just finish him off with sort of basic attacks. Yeah, I think I can take this guy down in maybe just like 2 more. And I don't want to try the link gem. There we go. Okay. And we finally got him. It's not over yet though. Yes, that was brutal. Did you see how, well, yes, of course you did. You was there. Yes, through excessive violence, your wares are now safe. Oh no, he has a friend, and his friend, who I am afraid seems to be quite upset about your violence, has a gun. No, yep, that is me being shot in the back. Lovely. Sir, I'm afraid I can't defeat this gunner alone. I mean, fists are great, but I can't reach the other rooftop. You don't have any friends? Okay, I'll send someone out to help you. But you'll have to tell them exactly what to do, and I get 50% of the spoils. I was gonna get spoils? I thought I was helping out of the goodness of my heart. Alright, fine, I'll let you help me for free. I certainly wouldn't want to take 50% of your heart. And we get our second character. So we can swap by either selecting or, as is far more likely in actual combat, by using the 1 through 4 keys. Now, with the gunner character here, we can attack an enemy at range. We have the snipe ability, which we can combo together like so. And it does a pretty decent chunk of the enemy's damage there. Another 1 or 2 of those, and he should be quite dead. There we go. Wonderful! You defeated these dreadful thieves. You're quite the fighter. I'm sure you'll be able to take on whatever Iskendrun throws at you. Yay, success. Back to the main menu. Alright, so that gives a basic idea of some of the mechanics at heart within the game. But I do want to go ahead, we're going to pop into the party screen, and this is some of the stuff that really makes me like see the potential available here. So this is a party that I've used to play around with just a little bit. 2 brutes, a mage, and a gunner. These are the 4 classes available right now in the game. I'm not sure if this is going to be it, or if we're expecting a lot more. But there's a pretty wide range of customization options here, most of which are not yet implemented. But you can see, so like, this is the only thing you can set the brute to right now. But, oh, there is actually a separate head. Okay, I had not noticed that yet. Never mind, I am completely wrong. Okay, so we do have all the customization options. It's possible that maybe that got added after I actually did the Kickstarter backing. So we can set 1 of 3 masks. Oh, this is so much cooler. It's like a good, like, hulking. Well, if I'm gonna do hulking, I might as well do green. Do we have purple pants? There's no purple pants. That's very sad. Let's go with something like this. I like that. Okay. And 2 gauntlets. fair enough. And then in the stats screen, we're going to see that these are actually like loot that can be gained just by playing versus the AI, for example, which is how I've gotten them. This one, sapphires, or a square sapphire, is adding to evasion. You'll see the character's got several different slot types here. And we can put the square sapphire anywhere to gain plus 12 evasion, but if we put it in a slot that is square, we also gain a plus 8 perfect fit bonus. Similarly, with a topaz, we can use it to gain more HP. So if we just slot that in. Some of the graphics in here, obviously, they look a little placeholdery. I would maybe hope that this gets another pass before final release, but we're looking at like a prototype of a game right now. So I'm not judging it too much based on its cover, as it were. So I actually am super excited about just the ability to customize appearance stuff. I'm going to kind of get as random as I can here. We'll leave him as red since we made the other guy the alternate color. And then we could slot in a little bit of evasion here. And go back, actually, and in combat, this is where we would slot in any of the link gems that we had gotten. For the Brute, I have 2, Wild Swing and Suplex. I've given one of them to one and one of them to the other. Similarly, if we pop into the Mage, he has Disintegrate and Corrupt. Corrupt basically stacks some damage over time, and then Disintegrate uses those corruption stacks and does like a ton of bonus damage. Very mage-like indeed. And okay, maybe this is why I didn't think there were other customization options. Maybe only the Brute has them, and I tried in other characters and didn't get anywhere. That could have been it. That definitely could have been it. Let me try the same thing in the Gunner really quick, though, for my own morbid curiosity. Yeah, he doesn't customize either. So it looks like right now just the Brute has that implemented. But we're going to see the Gunner also has Snipe and Magnetic Mine. Snipe we've already seen during the tutorial, and Magnetic Mine lets him like throw down a trap at his feet and then sort of move away. Any enemy then that moves across that takes a decent amount of damage. We have a second Snipe that I picked up as loot, but since I'm not running with a second Gunner, it's just sort of going unused right now. You'll see that we have to slot it into the starting slot. So Snipe, for example, needs to go down, right down. It has to go into the down slot here. We need to find something that used right or left as its opening move in order to get something added there for our Gunner. With that, let's go ahead and jump into a versus AI battle, where I'm just going to show off kind of how like crazy fights get when you have 4 characters. And I am not in any way going to try to represent that I am any good at this game yet. But I think I should be able to get the point across pretty well. I'm going to lead with my Brutes because, you know, I've played an RPG before in my life, and so that's kind of how these things are done. I'm going to go ahead and start with Suplex to actually pull this guy kind of away from his friends. And then if I move to sort of bunch him in here, oh, and I don't really have enough action points to be doing much else there. I'm not going to use any suplexes on him, as I don't want to move him again. But we're just going to kind of focus this guy down. That's generally been my strategy anyway, has been just like a straight focus fire on one character until it dies, and then moving on. Now, the balance really gets into trying to pay attention to all of my characters' like AP bar and making sure that I'm not wasting any AP by just letting them hit max, but at the same time making sure that I'm spreading the love like out amongst all of our different characters here. And this guy is going down pretty quickly. I actually think Snipe might be my most powerful ability right now. And so I'll hang out here to actually wait for it to regen, although I'm losing a ton of efficiency off of one of my Brutes who's currently doing nothing. That guy right there. Wild swing him. There we go. and he goes down. Oh man, we actually just took a huge corruption blast from the enemy mage there. And there we go. And out of range. As you can see, the fact that, it's turn-based strategy, but it's turn-based strategy that doesn't care about pausing for you is kind of interesting, and is making the combat feel, at least, very exciting. Although I will say I sometimes have a hard idea keeping track of, like, whether or not I'm doing well in a fight. I'd say right now we're doing fairly definitively better than the enemies are. Let's go ahead and throw out the disintegrate. We have stacked a little bit of corruption on this guy already. The mage's spells, as you can see, take a significant amount of AP to cast the more complicated stuff. And the mage is probably going to die from that. Yep, and he goes down. Let's go ahead and move to their gunner now. And our own... Okay, our own gunner is being attacked, but just barely. There we go. I'll just throw out a bunch of wild stuff with the guy that has suplex. I don't really feel like suplexing constantly. Moving the enemy around can tend to cause problems of its own. What with finding them out of range of any of our other attackers here. And actually, probably a decent time to show off Magnetic Mine. So as you can see, that actually drops a mine at his feet, and as soon as I am able, I'll have him just kind of run away. And that should generally trick the AI into getting close and exploding themselves. But I should probably still continue to fight the other things. There we go. And run to here, and then he should step right onto that. Magnetic Mine floats up. 285, not bad. Of course, they're now trying to do the exact same thing to me, and I'm gonna try to be a little bit smarter than the AI and try to avoid that. Should be able to get off a corruption here, which might kill him. No, not quite. I think a final snipe should do it, though. And there we go. Awesome. This fight is definitely going better than, like, oh, God, that hurt, than any of my others. I do definitely want to pull my squishy guys back here and let the brutes fight the brutes, though. Oh, unfortunately, I do not have the AP for that right now. Oh, man. Okay. It did take out my mage. That's unfortunate. Let's try the suplex. And there we go. Should move him around, and then we'll line up. Oh, I didn't move him. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I was kind of counting on that. But we'll be fine. We do outnumber him 3-1 at this point, so I think we can get this job done. We'll go to 1, and just throw a little bit of basic attacks out. Go back to 4, throw out a snipe. And our gunner is, like, barely alive. Thankfully, we did manage to save him, although our mage suddenly took a huge burst of damage there. And not quite dead. Will that be enough to take him out? It might. It might. It's not. But that probably will be. No? Wow. I greatly underestimate how much damage, like, anything that is not a link gem does. Okay. There we go. That is victory. So that gives you at least a basic idea of what's going on in kind of the standard combat. Let's pop back to the main menu. Awesome. We got another Topaz and another Disintegrate. If I was going to run 2 mages, that might come in handy. But otherwise, I'm really hoping for something for the Brute, because he's kind of the guy that I think running 2 of makes the most sense with. But that is what's currently available. The story I'm going to hold off on. If you guys are interested in seeing the story, then let me know. Drop a comment, and maybe we'll do a short series on just the little kind of mini campaign that's available during the Kickstarter period. But that is the basics of City of the Shroud right now. I'll leave a link in the description to the Kickstarter page, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money, but go check it out. If it's the kind of game that interests you, the only way this stuff gets made is by people like you and me contributing a few dollars, and that's ultimately what gets it here. There's various tiers, of course. If you're familiar with the Kickstarter campaign, it is exactly like that. There's various tiers with various bonuses, and I'm sure that the developers would appreciate every little bit. I hope this game does see full funding, as I would definitely be interested to play it. There's some stuff that could use some polish right now, to be sure. Sound design is super repetitive, like this one main menu song that is just looping in my ears right now. Gets kind of grating after a while, but those are the sorts of things that I might really expect to see improved by the final game. But I'm digging the art direction. I really enjoy the tactical gameplay elements and the possibilities of that. It feels really rewarding. The glimpse of it that's kind of happening so far is in the disintegrate spell, which is one of the most complicated things we have. But it feels really rewarding to cast disintegrate, and it actually kind of feel like you're doing that. And also, in the heat of the moment, as it were, trying to quickly get those things off, and maybe you mess them up. That's kind of a neat gameplay element. It's something that the game Helldivers did with the way that you had to enter combos to call in support. It worked very well in that game too, and I could definitely see it working very well for something like a tactical RPG. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the look at City of the Shroud's Kickstarter prototype build. Of course, feel free to stop by the Kickstarter page just to download the prototype. It's free. The story campaign will not be unlocked unless you've backed the game, but you can get into the tutorial and you can play versus the AI to just get a feel for it yourself and decide if it's something that you might be a little bit more interested in. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you enjoyed this, feel free to let me know in a comment. Like I said, if you'd like to see more, I would totally be interested in doing more, but I'm not going to do it if nobody is interested in watching. So leave me a comment, leave me a like, let me know that you're interested in seeing more of it, and I will catch you guys next time.